Are we live?
Yes.
By the way, am I echoing when you was playing that?
No.
Because it
We are
shows
live, by
my
the way.
thing.
Like we're
Okay,
visible now and they
got
can
you,
hear
got
us.
you, got you. Yeah, I thought it was echoing, but all right, cool.
Welcome to the greatest colloquium cactus in existence. Adventures in Bad Taste. I'm here with the boys. The human calculator with the numerical nomenclature. Raytron, 1, 2, 3. This is the third Raytron movie. It's a trilogy. Yeah. And on the other end, we got the man with a plan, the ultimate Nas fan, and the Dapper Dan. The Electric Jolt, E to the motherfucking J. And just like that, I got this video in trouble by cursing in the first 0 seconds. So what you been up to, EJ?
Uh, yeah,
Raytron.
I got a little bit more to
Yeah.
offer in terms of an answer to that question. So I left my second job, as I told you guys off stream. Um, Before I get into like why and what I plan on doing forward, I actually got a quick story that I could share. Um,
Nah, you're not
that,
allowed to share.
that was
Yeah, we ain't
pretty
got
funny.
time for that in the production, bro.
Hey man, we big time out here. But so yeah, anyway, on my last day, right? I'm thinking it's gonna be a chill, standard day. Work my 8 hours and then call it a day. But it's actually the quite opposite of that. It was very strenuous, very demanding.
We put you to
Cause
work.
yeah, cause for those that don't know, I was working part time at a furniture store, and the job is already physically taxing, for the most part. But on that day
Mm-hmm.
specifically, it was just times 10
Mm-hmm.
because half the store they were closing down, because they were doing some renovation move. So, that furniture store is comprised of like coffee tables, uh bookshelves, couches, and all that. So all that stuff had to come off the floor and be brought downstairs. So you can only imagine. And on top of that, we had to wrap this stuff too. Like this stuff had to be wrapped in plastic before it could be brought down. So they had me doing that the entirety of that day. And I think one of the things I wanted to mention, that was funny, was I actually got to meet like the area manager of that store and like the other New York stores. They happened to come in that day to help with the renovation. And so they're like one of the top people within the company. And when I met with them, like the assistant manager, the one that hired me, like when she introduced me to them, she was like, "Oh, this is the first time you meet Eric, but it's unfortunate because this is actually his last day here." And I wish she didn't say this next part, because it caused, a whole bunch of conversations that I wish didn't. Not that it was, hard to talk about. It's I didn't feel like talking about it. But she was like, "Oh yeah, it's his last day, and he's gonna be returning to his main job." And then she went into details as to what my main job is, which is like, you could have just said I was leaving, because now these people are gonna ask me what it is I do and go into details about that, which they did. And now I was forced to have a conversation with them about it. Not forced, but that social hostile pressure that you feel, where you have to like, you know, be professional and courteous and stuff like that. Um, I could have just been like, nah, I don't feel like talking about it. But we live in a society. So, anyways, um, anyways,
Wait,
so yeah,
you ever seen that meme, or was that did you just say that?
no, I didn't see the meme. I didn't
Okay,
see the meme. Didn't
sorry.
see the meme. Didn't see the meme.
I thought he saw the
But
meme too.
this is the last part of the story. Um, so as I was telling one of the area managers, right, and he knows that this is my permanent main job that I'll be returning to. Um, After my shift is over and I'm getting ready to, put on my stuff and leave, uh, he, he passes by me and he's like, so now I guess you'll be returning to your real job, huh? It was like a slick comment.
Wow.
And my mentality is like, I never, from day one when I started working there, and any job that I work, whether if I was working at McDonald's part-time, I never looked down upon a job that, even if it's paying me less, even if the work is not, something that is in my career, there's a reason that I'm working here. There's a reason that I decided to do this job. I'm getting paid for it. So I don't look down upon me doing it because I don't look down upon anybody else that does it permanently or full time. It's a job at the end of the day. I don't shame anybody. So for him to say it's a real, oh, so you're gonna go back to your real job, that is it's not my main job, but it's still a real job to me. I get what he was saying,
I think
but
you
it just
misunderstood what he was saying. I don't think he was implying that his job is not real and your job is.
no, not his job, but that job itself, like the
Yeah,
other
I think
people
he
that
was
work there.
saying the job where your priorities lie. I think that's what he really meant.
Just give me one
I don't
moment.
know. It was just a weird thing to say, man. It was just a weird thing to say. At that moment, as I'm leaving, it kind of came off. I don't know. Like I said, I could be misinterpreting it and taking it the wrong way, but I just didn't like how it came off. And it just put me in a weird place because he's saying, as he's passing me by and saying this, obviously everybody else is getting ready to leave too because we're like the last ones out the building. So I feel like in that moment, if I say, yeah, I'm going back to my real job, it's almost as if I'm surrounded
Hmm.
by people that don't work real jobs. And I'm basically, downplaying what they do by saying yes to that question.
I think you think too much about these things.
I don't know. I think I do, but that's how it felt. That's just genuinely how it felt. It's like why my thing is you didn't have to say that at all. Like there was no reason for him to say that.
He's just making conversation, buddy.
Yeah,
Nah, you could
I don't know the guy, but I don't think it was any like malice in the thing.
you could have just said, "Man, it's been a pleasure getting to know you." That's
Could
it. Like,
have, but like probably not his personality, Probably is not.
yeah,
I probably would have said the same thing, but I would have just been, it would just been me. I probably would
it's,
have said it on purpose that way as a joke.
So
Like,
you're going
it,
back to your
it,
real
it,
job.
it seemed like you tried to portray me as this like elitist guy that doesn't have time to waste on such meaningless work.
Man, if that's how you felt when he said that, you should reevaluate yourself.
Nah.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
Again,
Man,
again,
they're just
again.
trying to rustle your jimmies a little bit, and you were like, "Damn, this man." We live in a society.
live in a society.
And
Man,
that's how I felt in the moment. That's how I felt in the
crazy.
moment.
Nah, I can understand why you felt that way, because, like you said, like people do think about it that way. Because there are some people who really do work minimum wage jobs, and they're doing it for funsies. They're like,
Yeah.
just extra bread.
But that's the attitude. This is the last part before we go get back to scheduled programming. So when the way I look at it, right, it's like there's certain because to a degree you're right. Like there's some people that just do it for fun, or like they'll get people that already have an established job, they'll get a second job or supplement income, or because they just want something easy where they can slack off. Now to a degree, uh I wanted the second job that was not as demanding as my main job. Like if I'm gonna be working extra, I don't want it to be as hard, or a little bit easier. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna go in there with the mindset of like, yeah, I'm just gonna be on my phone all day and chill. Like, no, I want to work. You know what I'm saying? I want to do something. I'm not
you
just
know
going in
what?
there with the like, all right, this is my second job, so I'm
I'm
just
not
kick my
trying
feet
to.
up.
I'm not trying to diminish anything you're saying, but it sounds like you projected a lot of shit onto what this guy said. It
Bruh.
sounds like a lot of projection. Like you're
No,
making.
I'm not even talking about his comment anymore. I'm making a generalized statement
Oh, okay,
about
okay.
how like when people come into second jobs, like I feel like the people, not him, but just people in general, like they'll look at it as like, all right, so he's just gonna come in here and do whatever, because like if we fire him, he has a nest egg, like he could return back to his main job, so there's really no stress for him, which could be true, but just in my case, I look at it as like it's just an extra opportunity to make more money. So I want to hold on to that, and I still value that, because I want to, I want the income. I want the extra income. But yeah, that was it. Yeah, maybe I blew it out of proportion, but it is what
No,
it is.
you're entitled to how you feel. Like, especially like, well, like I'm saying, it's like if you felt that way when he said what he said, you gotta think about it. Cause like, I won't lie, like sometimes people say shit, and even if I know like they didn't mean it that way, I just start thinking about it. It's like, damn, like,
And
start reflecting on
It
things.
felt like that burn, like you know that when you drink alcohol and like you know you didn't anticipate the burn and then it just comes and just like oh shit.
I'm like, spicy.
Yeah, it's like that's how I felt at the moment. I was like
Maybe
yeah.
stop taking other people's jobs, bro. How about that? You ever think about that?
Hey
Leave
Yeah,
man,
leave them
some of the
jobs for
people
the
that
people that need them jobs, huh? How about that?
some of the people that's there permanently just taking up space, man.
Bro, you
They
don't
not
gotta tell
working
me
hard.
that. You don't gotta tell me.
Yeah, we used doing security at Target, right?
I was a security,
Oh no, I keep saying that. It wasn't security.
but
why you leaking the man's personal information? Like somebody
oh
It
got
yeah,
some.
nah,
was, it
my social
was, it
security number is
was.
11111.
What you been up to, Raytron?
I mean, yeah, I got that. I got another interview coming up. Seeing about that. We'll see when that happens. Maybe I'll get a real job,
Yeah,
upgrade. I'm probably gonna move out. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're definitely
that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
like as you remember. I remember when Mark Phillips said this. Shout out to RDC. They were talking about how they would buy a house before they knew they could afford it because it was like it forced them to like find a way to make that much money. Kind of looking at it like that, where like being here is just too comfortable, right? Like I'm grateful for the
I
What
tell
ability.
happened?
you like that a lot.
What happened to that
Like
other
I was
plan?
crazy.
What other plan?
Didn't you have a? I don't know. I guess I mean this is
Well,
nothing
it
too private.
depends, right? Because
Wait,
you said
hold on. I was gonna ask Ray about this plan. So you were saying before that one of the things you could do once you obtain, let's say that I don't know how much you would be getting paid, but let's say
Enough.
hypothetically north of close to six figures, um, you would use that money because you could pay off the house with that, but you wouldn't necessarily move, or you could rent it out
See,
to tenants and they could pay off the mortgage.
yeah, but if like that relies on the people in this house leaving, and they don't seem like they're going anywhere. They were gonna go places, but now they're not, so I can't do that.
Okay.
That's really it. That's still the goal. Like I would just get my own house now instead of waiting for them to give me this one. So,
Yeah.
and it's not even like they would like give me this one, right? Like I would just like take it off their hands, take over the responsibilities, or whatever. But yeah, I'd just get my own at that point, see what's up,
All
and then that'd be great because I'd want it closer to the middle so we can outfit the basement, upgrade the production value of the studio and shit. You know.
but yeah, man. What about your hairline? When's that gonna?
Oh, that comes in 2024. That's on the back burner right now. I gotta fix other things. Like if I focus on the hairline first, you know, like I just have to
One
be
thing at
beating
a time.
bitches away all the time. It's
One
not
thing at a
worth it.
time, man.
It's not.
First, you gotta line up the beard, and then
Nah.
once
You don't
you do
understand. Like
the
if I was too
beard,
sexy, there'd be no bitches for the rest of y'all. So I gotta humble myself. So give
the
y'all the
beard,
opportunity. So it's
the
okay.
beard has to come first because the beard is always what they look for nowadays, and then the hairline, and then once the hairline, then the
Nah, just
eyebrows.
just just wear a mask, bro. It's like the hat for your. It's like the hat. Just throw on one of these. I used to have a mask on me at all times, but now those things are gone, bro.
You was scared of COVID, huh?
No, it was just like, you had to wear one to go to work.
That's playing around.
Bro. I literally went to Target at one time. Like they just wouldn't let me in. I was like, bro, y'all give me masks every day. They're like, well, you can't come in without one. I was like, well, go around the corner and get me one then, because I'm not buying a mask. You're crazy. Y'all give me a free mask.
You want me to go all the way back home? Then come back.
Yeah, I was like, go get me one. Like I'm not. I was like, you're crazy.
But recently I saw Thor: Love and Thunder. Some girl that I was hanging out with wanted to show it to me, and as the movie begins,
Hanging out.
the movie began, and I was like, "This shit's stupid." Yeah,
Oh yeah, no.
so
The opening scene was.
it was so
It
weird
was an
because,
Old
like,
Spice commercial.
yeah, he's walking in that desert, right? There's no context or anything, and it's not that movies need context, but it's just like, a scene that not even that well
Actually,
shot in
no.
my.
Like that part, I didn't hate. It was the part right after that with Thor that
See,
I hated.
two things. Yeah. So then, when he sits down with his daughter, the way she died was so unceremonious and stupid. Where she's like, I'm tired. I was like, what the fuck?
She
I was like, what
starved
the
to
fuck is
death, bro.
that?
They were starving.
Yeah, but like,
They looked
I
like
like
Marvin, bro.
bitch looked like she would just took a nap. Like it just looked so dumb. You know what
Yeah,
I'm trying to
but
say? Like,
I'm not. I'm gonna blame that on a child. Like the child acting skills is very low.
yeah. So then, like you said, he just randomly shows up in that fucking oasis. A very bizarre scene. He shows up randomly in that oasis, and then the god just starts just starts ripping into him for no fucking reason.
Yeah, yeah. That was the crazy part. I was like, yo, what? It was just like I have to be an asshole because otherwise the plot doesn't make much sense. Otherwise,
Yeah, that was so weird. I was like, why is he acting like this? Then he kills him, right? And then again, that was also very fucking stupid. That the sword was just lying there and he's dissing him. And I was like, if you beat the first guy with the necro sword so easily, why did you just get killed in like 2 seconds by the second
because
guy?
it's a
I guess
surprise
you can say,
attack. It was a sneak
yeah,
attack.
sure, yeah.
But like, yeah, no, they definitely shouldn't have just left the sword laying there in the middle of this oasis. They were like, "We killed the guy. Let's party." I was like,
Yeah,
y'all don't got your
that's my
priorities straight,
that's
huh?"
my main problem with the movie as I was watching it. I was like, the gods just it was the same thing as Infinity. In Infinity War, in order to make Thanos seem cool, all the Avengers had to become retarded, and they all started acting like idiots just to
Which
make
did
sure that
you
he
did
could
you
win.
read the comic that was adapted from?
I'm going to. I'm going to. I
Go
didn't finish
yeah,
the movie.
go come back to me after you read it because I really liked that. I really liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, especially like
So
the Thor between the ages. That shit was pretty nice.
yeah, because then the thing is, it's like the gods in this movie all had to be idiotic assholes in order for, I guess, well, if you're a really bad writer, this is what you're forced to do in order to write a compelling story. If you're not like fucking what's his name, Dostoevsky? How do you pronounce it again?
I have no
Whatever.
idea.
Sorry, it's a Russian writer, but he's like well known for his characters. Even if they were supposed to be like you would say the villain of the piece, they would be portrayed with such like degrees and like depth that like they could still be compelling and interesting, and they could still make a good case for the other side, even though they're supposed to be wrong. Like that's how well he was. That's how good he was as a writer.
I also just
And
like
like
villains that are evil for being evil. They're just
yeah,
bad.
makes me
no,
think
see,
though,
that's the
like
thing. A villain doesn't have to be. They don't have to be doing the right thing to have depth. And then you can just like, for example, like hey, Sopranos actually. The lead is not. He's not a good person. He fucking murders people and shit. But they portray him with depth, and you start to feel kinship with him.
yeah,
And you
definitely.
start to
I mean, he sees his therapist. You want to think that he can evolve and move
yes,
past, previous
sympathetic.
behavior.
Feel
Yeah,
sympathy for him, even though he is a
mhm.
bad person.
I like villains that are just likable. Like I was reading Dorohedoro, right? And one of the main villains there, his name is N. He's he's just a murderous asshole, bro. Like if he doesn't like you, he will just kill you. And like even as I'm reading this and I see that this man is literally just doing wrong because he can, I was thinking to myself, I'd probably be friends with this man. Like he seems like a enjoyable person to be around. I was like, I'd probably fuck up and step on the back of his shoes and he killed me, but that'd be my fault. I shouldn't have stepped on the back of his shoes. Like,
Yeah, it's like David Xanatos. He was portrayed really well, but he's also a conniving, backstabbing asshole. But he just seems so cool. You know what I mean? But
Wait, that makes me think though. Like, why do you guys? Wait, this question is more specifically for you, Vanguard. Like, why do you continue to watch these movies if you know you're not gonna like them? Like, you don't know per se,
well,
but it's just
specifically
like,
then he said that someone was watching it with him.
don't show it to me. I don't want to show it to me.
yeah,
Whenever I watch
but
these,
even that though, it's just like you're not gonna like the movie.
I'm still curious. It doesn't matter. Like I've watched movies I knew was gonna suck before. I've done that many times actually. That's why I wanted to see Morbius. I was curious to see like how bad it actually was.
It's like yeah, you just want to see how bad it is at this point.
Didn't we
That's what I was
start
gonna
that
say.
when we were in Miami? We didn't get too far in it, huh?
No, we stopped watching after a while. But like even like I remember me and a boy a long time ago, one of our old boys, went to see this movie called Gods of Egypt. And we saw the trailers. We knew this movie was gonna be a stinker. We were aware, but we just wanted to see. And we were not disappointed. It was quite a stinker. There were just parts of it that were just there were like a lot of unintentionally funny parts of it that we really enjoyed. We thought was hilarious. There was a time we went to see a movie that we thought was gonna be cool, and that shit was boring as fuck. The shit became so boring. I invented an alternate version of the songs, the movie soundtrack, because we knew this guy whose catchphrases were facts, and he'd say Rex, like wrecked all the time.
Yeah,
So
this
like, yeah, so the theme song as the fucking movie's theme is playing, it's like imagine it's like tin 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 tin. I was like facts Rex facts Rex. Like every time the music would change, I'm making sounds and yo, the boy next to me was dying. And I know the people around us must have been annoyed. As I'm sitting there, but I knew I was probably pissing them off. But
yeah, at this point, that's what I was gonna say. This seems to be like a fun endeavor for you
nah,
to
I mean,
Bro,
no, I
sometimes
continuously
you
watch
gotta make
bad
your own
movies.
fun, bro. Like I be sitting in movies that are trash, and I just be like saying shit. You know the movie's trash if you saying some out
Yo,
of pocket
why?
shit, and the niggas next to you is laughing their ass off, bro.
Just go watch something you like though. Like, why
See,
waste
yeah,
the
do that
time?
too.
sometimes it's just like
Do that too.
I'm there for the enjoyment of the company, and like we ought to just do some. We doing something that's fun. Like even if the movie itself is bad, right? If I'm there with the homies and we going to clown the movie, we
Makes
clowning
it
the
less
movie,
bad.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like when we'd go to those nightclubs and they would suck, but we're together, so it makes it.
Yeah,
It makes
you gotta make the time
it
because
fun.
sometimes you do go into a movie. Like I prefer going into movies blind, right? So like if I find out it's bad then and there, I'm like, well, I already paid for it. I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that time we went to go see that reboot of Total Recall, and
Yeah,
that shit was so
we sat
boring.
there,
We
had a
started having a
whole
separate
conversation throughout the
conversation
movie.
and was not watching it. Yeah, that movie was goofy, man.
I
That
don't even
Total
remember
Recall
what was
movie
going on.
was boring. How are you gonna take a movie like Total Recall and reboot it in such a boring, goofy way? Whatever. Anyways, have you guys heard about what's going on with Kai Cenat?
Uh, Is that how you say that?
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's
I was
Cenat.
wondering.
I think it's Cenat. Yeah.
I thought it was just sent.
What? No, is it AT in there?
Yeah, I know, but like, I thought they just pronounced it like sent.
Nah,
Bay
Cenat.
was silent on that one.
Yeah, I thought I really did. Cause like whenever I
I think
hear
he
anyone,
says it in the video. I think in the video he says it's Kai Cenat.
we'll have
Yeah.
to. I'm gonna have to check that again. I'm not even arguing with you. I was just curious, right?
But I
And I
mean,
s-
just for a little bit of context, basically Kai Cenat is throwing like this New Year's Eve party. There's a girl there, and I guess she starts feeling like, the alcohol starts to get to her. She's like not feeling too good. She wants to go home. Kai Cenat convinces her to stay, or Kai. We'll just call him Kai from now on.
he convinced her
He
to stay.
convinced her, not really convinced her. He
No,
was
it
just
was
like,
like it
oh,
was him. Like he was the one who talked to her.
yeah, I think that's in the context of the story. Yeah, he tells her go upstairs and just like sleep. Like, oh, you can sleep it off, you'll be fine, right? Because he has security and stuff. So I guess he really thought this is all alleged, by the way, and we don't have any
And I
confirmation.
feel that because like I'd be like, if you in my house, I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't want
But
you
that part is
wandering
confirmed.
the streets,
That part is
right? Like
confirmed. He himself.
so I was
He
just saying
himself
like I
confirmed.
wouldn't want no one wandering the streets if they were at my party. Like
Exactly.
especially like girl, I'd be like, yeah, just take rest first. Like go sleep it
Yeah.
off for a bit.
So he sends her upstairs, and she's sleeping up there. And this is the alleged part. Allegedly, a guy who it's his room. He comes in, and he rapes her. You know,
Allegedly. Keep following that up with allegedly.
allegedly, he grapes her. That's what we'll say. Allegedly, um, and she wakes up, and apparently, he allegedly raped her so badly that she bled. Is what she said. Um, and he tells her that he did it because she was in his bed, blah blah blah, and then he used like very little protection, so like the protection would not have protected her from STDs, just from him, busting a load inside her. Not it's not This is not funny. I'm not laughing at her. Just like, um,
Bro, it's just you said that. I was like, yo, what did he what protection is that?
yeah, there was like these very thin condoms that apparently can still catch STDs from. I'm not too sure about it. I was a little confused. I'll have to look it up again. So she had to go take like a barrage of like medical, allegedly again, a barrage of medical medications in order to fight back against any potential STDs. And she apparently got a rape kit, all this kind of stuff. And then when she told Kai Cenat, they were talking a little bit at first, but then he cut off communications with her. And then here we are. Now he's this shit might tank his career. Yeah. Should we actually look at the video? Should we look at the video of him telling his side?
Yeah, let's pull it up. Watch him.
Is he even allowed to speak on it?
Yeah, no, he actually says like he was radio silent until right now because
Yeah.
yeah, his legal team told him not to say anything. But we're gonna go watch the video right now. Boom. Let's just give me 1 second. Oh.
How do I? That's never good.
I closed it. I closed the tab instead of copying the tab. Because I was trying to copy tab. Why am I trying to copy tabs, bro? Like that's goofy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
You know, sometimes your brain just you have those brain.
Sometimes you just get that brain fart, bro.
Yeah. All right. What's wrong?
Nothing. You ready?
Yeah.
The person being accused, Jiggy, right? How do I know him? I know him. I never said he wasn't my friend. I know him. He went to high school with me. And you know what I'm saying? He's a friend that I genuinely know. Okay, this is somebody that I know personally. Okay, all right. Now, first things first. Let me kick it off like this. I can't go too in deep, so you're probably wondering. Let me address everything that everybody probably was wondering. Why Kai wasn't replying? Why wasn't he texting back like this? And I don't blame y'all for asking me. Why wasn't Kai texting back like this? Why wasn't he helping? Because screenshots came in. As soon as this was brought to my attention, chat, I didn't go nowhere else. When this shit was brought to my attention, I didn't go nowhere else but the police. Instantly, I went to my legal team. I went to the police. I'm not being around. This is a serious topic. Let's go to the police. Let's figure this out. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people was like, yo, you need, he didn't help you, this, that, and the third. Bro, I went to the police instantly. My legal team, the reason why I did not reply is because my legal team told me, Kai, do not text anyone. Do not do not talk about the situation to anybody. Keep it to yourself. That's why I'm so relieved that I got the green light today to talk about stuff. Okay? And then again, you feel what I'm saying? I'm not going against nobody. That's the reason why I couldn't tell, right? My team legally told me, Kai, don't say nothing. Okay? Jovi. First things first, Jovi. I understand everything that's going on right now. I'm here to help to see what the fuck happened. I've been accused of this being set up, and I knew what was going on. Negative. That's disgusting. Negative. Like, bro, that's the reason why I'm kind of mad, because I've been accused that I knew everything that was happening at the time. Negative. Okay? I don't know shit that went down that night. I wasn't there. Okay? I wasn't physically there. Okay? Jovi, although my team contacted you and said that Kai is not able to talk at this time. Okay? They said that to you. You was aware that I was muted, but you still went to the internet. I'm not here to blame you. You got to the internet first. They do their assumptions. My name got dragged. Okay? And it's fine. I gotta go. This is what being at such a stature gonna come with. Okay? You was my team went to her and tell you, yo, Kai is not able to talk right now. You feel what I'm saying? He don't expect nothing from coming from him. He's not able to. This is all legal. Once this shit got brought to my attention, it is now an investigation. Okay? It is now an investigation. Do you hear me? Okay? This shit is serious. Y'all gotta understand how serious this is, man. I'm not taking this for no game. Everything that was brought to my attention, my team reached out to her, said Kai's not able to talk. All right? So, boom. I was literally muted at the time. I couldn't say nothing. Okay? Let me go ahead and I'll go to the next thing. What's it called? My fault. I just ain't know her side of the story. Okay? Let me go ahead and say this shit real quick. She called me the next day, right? Crying, bawling her eyes out. I'm talking about legit crying, gang. I'm hearing this story, and automatically, this is why I don't really blame the internet for reacting to how they reacted to, because automatically, I instantly believe, I instantly believe, like, I'm hearing it. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro. As soon as shit happened, I'm gonna help you on the phone. This is the first phone call that we had together. I said, I will help you. I got you. You can see in the text messages, I said, yo, just talk to my team and see what happens, okay? I said, I will help you. It's not pre-recorded. Shut up. This is not pre-recorded. All right? So, boom. I said that, right? As soon as I got the information, chat, I went straight to my friend, the person that you see getting posted. I said, bro, what the fuck am I hearing right now, gang? Y'all know I can't, bro. I have a select few of people that I call my friend for real, bro. I addressed them. I said, yo, bro, what the fuck is this? When you can see the text messages. When she sent the photo, you can see me react as in, it's him? Like, I legit, I'm telling y'all what it is. I know him. So I went to him immediately. I said, yo, bro, what the fuck you got going on? What am I hearing right now, bro? You feel me? What am I hearing right now about shit that's going on? Chat. As soon as he heard her side of the story, I'm representing her, bro. She's hurt. She's hurt, bro. I don't play that. I went to him. I said her story. Complete shock. He was in complete shock. He don't know. I'm telling you my perspective. He was so confused on the things that she said. Legitimately confused on the things that she said. Everything like that, right? So, as the one in between all this shit, I took a step back. I said, yo, Kai, there's two sides of the stories now, Kai. Who you gonna handle it with? The police. Okay? When she asked for in the screenshot, she asked for her name, she asked for his name automatically. I told my team, I said, yo, team, here's his name, give it to her. That is the reason why she got it in the first place. Okay? That is the reason why she got it in the first place. And let me tell y'all something right now. All my viewers, do not go to her profile and do not harass this young lady, bro. Do not. Until facts are proved, until shit is shit, bro, like, and shit is going on, and the police are handling this. And this is why I didn't want to come to the internet, bro. This was never my intentions. I was just talking to the police and my legal team.
Are we good
when it hit
on
the
this?
internet,
Take a break?
I wake up here hours later.
So, man, oh man, oh man.
Yeah, he was saying the same thing for like 5-6 minutes. It's like,
He's a kid. I think he's really young.
I think he's like 21, right?
Yeah, he's really young. So it's like this is like a scary
like
situation.
bro, it's an investigation, like, bro, like, we get it.
Yeah, he's
Guys,
21. He's
This
21.
is a terrifying. Yeah, this is a terrifying situation to be in. Like, cause I talked about this with some girls at work, and I immediately pissed some of them off because they were like, "Oh, because going into it, you kind of have to automatically sort of." And I was like, "Nope." I was like, I kind of just the way I said it was dickish. I'll admit. I was like, I will never just automatically believe the accuser. I was like, that makes no sense. Like, it's not a good way to carry on.
Innocents are proven guilty, right? In this country.
Yeah. So like it became a thing, and one of the girls I know was talking about she got like mad. She got mad at me. She's like, you're really triggering me because as a person who's been in those situations, and I was like, I could say the same thing. I was like, I've heard and I've known people who were accused of things they did not do, and hearing you say that you should automatically believe an accuser would probably trigger someone who was in that situation. Like if I was accused of rape by a girl. Shouldn't say the word. Whatever. I was accused of rape by a girl, right? And then I hear someone say you should always trust all women and believe all women. That would make me it would bring back those memories of when that shit happened to me.
Bro, that did happen to me.
What? Hey, don't get too personal. I don't
No, I told you before, like, that situation. Bro, like, I literally just, like, I took the phone back from this girl, and she just started screaming, grape, grape, grape. I was like, yo, what are you doing? You trying to get me shot? And then she stopped. She was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, so she knew what she was doing, bro.
Yeah, because look at what happened with Brock Turner. He really did it. But when he was figuring, sodomizing that girl behind the trash can, and those people found him. They held his ass down and made sure the police came. So now let's say you're in that situation and someone overhears that, a couple of guys overhear that, next thing you know, you're getting jumped or something by all these niggas trying to hold you down because they think
Bro,
you're just...
I was only 1 block away from the club too. One block away.
Yeah,
so
all
like,
it would have taken a couple of drunk guys to be walking past. They hear that shit, and you got 3 drunk guys fucking beating the shit out of you.
and bro,
You know
like,
what I mean?
I was like an arm's length away from her. We were both standing up. Like, it was just like,
Or a cop car comes by and overhears that. Oh my god! And they're like,
all
"Stop.
it takes is a what's going on? What's going on? What's all this then? You know?
Yeah, put your hands down.
And
Your fucking hands down." So that would be the most terrifying situation on the planet. The cop cursing at you with the gun pointed at you.
I don't even be saying hi to women. I mean, I don't even be I don't be saying hi to women. I don't even be giving. I was gonna say I don't even be giving women hugs. Like I see somebody, a woman I know, I just be like, oh hey Barbara, my head down, like hey Barbara, how's it going?
What's
Everything good?
You're not gonna give me a handshake? Handshake?
Nah.
I can't. I guess that's a little too personal.
You can't shake your hands. But
that leaves DNA. Can't do that.
like even one of the girls was saying, I was like, so I tried to put it into perspective a little bit. I was like, when a crime happens, I was like, if someone robbed someone, I was like, would you say, and so if someone tells you someone robbed them, would you say that you should automatically believe the person and go find whoever did it and arrest them with no evidence? They're like, oh, that's a little different. They're like, a grape is more traumatizing. I was like, a robbery could be traumatizing too. It's like, that could be very fucking traumatizing.
Remember when we got robbed at gunpoint?
Yeah,
or knife point? They said they got knives.
Yeah,
we didn't get robbed.
And knife point's crazy.
Yeah.
I ain't give them shit, bro. They don't have to stab me.
I'm gonna tell a little bit of a personal story, but my mom was attacked a while ago, not by a person, not by a dude or anything, but by these other girls who had beef with my sister, and she was not, raped in any way or anything, but that shit did like fuck with her.
Was
like
beat,
it really
bro. She was beat publicly.
Yeah. So it bothered her for a while. Like she kept thinking about it, and it fucked with her. She was scared. She was kind of scared to go outside and stuff. Like it really screwed with her. The same things that would happen if a person was, SA'd. Yeah. So like I was trying to explain to them that this is because I was thinking about this on the way home. People will say something like, "Oh, this is a woman's issue," and it's like not really, because if you want to say that you should believe all victims no matter what, who are the people that are most likely going to be accused in that situation? Men, correct? So that means it automatically, by that virtue, becomes a men and women's issue, because
you shouldn't believe anything. I don't think there's
exactly. That's what I was saying. I was trying to explain that to them. I was like, it's not that I'm not saying I automatically don't believe them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I go in with an open mind, and whatever happens, happens. Whatever I can prove.
I mean, you really can't just have an opinion, especially with, like, even with the when we was talking about Andrew Tate and the whole human trafficking thing. Like, you literally do not know like what's going on, and you could read the allegations and you could think that, oh yeah, I could see this type of person doing that. But at the end of the day, you just jump into assumptions, and these are serious assumptions. Like, these are assumptions that could ruin a person's life for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna make such a bold claim like that, at least with anything, like if we're talking about the stars and the moon, have some evidence.
But like in this case, where it literally, like you said, can damage a person's life, like this shit can ruin your life. Like you can literally, like, the allegation alone.
I mean, it ruins people's lives, even if they were, we've seen people that have come out on the better side of it and didn't do any of that, but they still carry this stain on their name that they were associated with, such an allegation that, they still can't escape that alone. So,
and ultimately you can't even say the people who still are wary of them completely, because then I can understand being wary of them, because you're like, yeah, you got cleared of the crime, but how do I know if you didn't actually commit the crime? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you slipped through the cracks,
Yeah.
Because there are those cases where you get off, but you did it, right?
Shout out my son OJ, man.
OJ. Yo, that man is insane. How you gonna write a book if I did it? Like this thing is crazy. This nigga is something else.
He watched Double Jeopardy. He's like, they can't try me again.
I remember he was in like an interview, and like after the cameras had been turned off, when he was talking, apparently he started doing like the psycho thing. He started making psycho
Oh
music.
yeah, I saw that too. Where he made the joke. Shake. Like he made the sound too. I was like, what? I was like, yo, you sure you can't try him again? You want to just roll it back?
But, what do you guys think about people are a lot of people are saying they believe her and that kind of thing.
I don't know anything about the situation, so I can't
like
be out here saying nothing because I really genuinely do not know.
That's like one of the things the girls I was talking to were saying. They're like, "Oh, I believe her because she was crying," and I was like, "They're like she was crying, like it sounded real." I was like, "That doesn't mean anything."
Bro,
I was like,
I've seen people cry for less.
Yeah, I told them a specific story of that. Like you guys have probably heard of this. Ray probably has. There was this woman. She had a fiance, right? They're about to get married. She goes. I think she wanted his money, so she goes and tries to hire a hitman to kill him, right? And the police they set up this like sting. It's a fake hitman. It's a cop pretending to be a hitman talking to her, and they record her as she's asking for the hit, right? And then then they take it even further. This was a fucking. They turned it into a fucking YouTube prank. They set it up as if they had found her husband dead. Like they have the crime scene, all that shit. And she appears, she drives up after they call her. She starts the waterworks immediately, bawling, dropping to the ground. Like, okay, it'll be all right, it'll be all right. Then they bring her husband out, and then they tell her, yeah, we know what your ass was trying to do. You wasn't slick. You wasn't slick.
It didn't even take it that far, bro. It was like recently it was a TikTok trend where girls would just sit there crying on their phone, mute themselves, and start laughing with their friends. And I was like, y'all exposing yourselves. Like, what are you doing?
Yes. Yeah, you got a little too much dip on your chip. Too much dip on your chip. But yeah, so like I feel like that's not because like it's very easy to fake an emotion. Back in my
In your heyday?
back in my less noble days, right? As Emilio would call it, my toxic days. There were many times where I faked emotions. It was very easy. Like I remember there was this girl I was dating. The story is hilarious when I think about it. I'm sorry. So I'm dating this girl, and there was something she wanted me to do. Oh yeah, she wanted me to stop talking to the boys, and I got tired of her bothering me about it. So and then it wasn't just that. There was something I did. I was interacting with a person I should not have been interacting with. That's what we'll say. And then she found out, and she was heartbroken. She was so sad. Blah blah blah. And now I had to start the shift to make her think that thing. I started the acting. I was like, I feel very bad for my actions. And my face, I did everything. I mastered each twitch. I was like, I'll change. She was like, okay, I want you to stop talking to your friends. And I was like, damn. So what I did is I remember this shit is so funny to this day. You remember, Ray, when I typed that message and then in the message I put a fucking like clue in there that the shit was fake? Where it was like basically an arrow, right? There's a quote in the thing where he's like, I had to become, in order to save my city, I had to become someone else, something else, right? That's what he says. So as I'm typing this long, drawn out paragraph explaining how I need to change as a person, I have to become a better person. At the end, I put, I have to become someone else, something else. As soon as our boy Teray saw that shit, he knew it was a joke. He saw the last line, was like, oh, he's another one of Gio's schemes. And then like that was just to let them know I would be back. And but yeah, it was very convincing. I sat there and it's not that hard to seem regrettable or to seem like you have anguish. It's not very difficult.
For some people.
Yeah.
I mean,
other people actually have a heart. You know
that is true. But the main crux of the issue is like you can never know who you're dealing with.
That's a fact. You got some criminal masterminds out here like Vanguard. This man just be coming up with scheme after scheme, ruining lives. Shout out to T-Sock, man. Sorry you had to go through that, man.
Nah, that girl was actually also the same. If you want to talk about waterworks, like fake crocodile tears.
Oh yeah, no, she did that all the time, bro. She was crying to me at one point.
Yeah, she was the queen of that shit.
And
She
Never,
was.
never felt bad one time. Like, damn,
no,
Oh, yeah,
probably took it too
fun
far.
fact. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story about one time when she was asking me to do something ridiculous, and she was telling me about how she was thinking about it in the shower, and briefly she started to realize that maybe she started to think to herself that maybe what she was asking of me was unfair, and then she's like, and then I changed my mind, and so she went down the law, and it was like that, drop a hat. She's like, oh, fuck all that responsibility and conscience shit. All I care about is what I want, you know. So yeah, but like you guys said, it's like there's no way to know in a situation like this. You have no choice but to go in
Yeah.
with in mind.
I mean, it's serious on both ends. Like, you know, however you decide to assume it. Like, if you want to say, "Oh yeah, she's lying," then you're obviously, being insensitive to the victim that actually had this done to them. And then the other side of it is, a guy is being falsely accused, and you're gonna believe something that could damage his life. So, decide, like, no matter which way you try to assume, it's damaging for both parties involved.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
But yeah, unfortunate situation.
but where
yeah.
do
I
we go
mean,
from here?
unfortunate either way too. Either way you
Yeah.
slice. If she's lying, it's unfortunate this happened. I mean, I personally, right? I'm gonna say I'm not gonna believe somebody just automatically with no evidence, but
We're good,
I
guys.
do think it would be a little bizarre for her to just
I'll
crack.
be right back.
I do wonder because like why wouldn't she accuse Kai himself if it was really for
Oh,
like the
I feel like something happened. You know,
yeah
like
because
something must have happened, which is why. Because because you're right. If it was just like blame person, you pick Kai because he's the famous one, right? Maybe, but maybe that was too hot. Like Kai said, like he said, he wasn't even there.
mm,
So let's not go down the rabbit hole
there's no
of
point in trying to
figuring out why she would lie, right?
Yeah.
But this is why you gotta keep to yourself. You gotta focus on yourself, King.
Oh, that actually touches on the next thing I wanted to talk about.
So I
So
did it. It's called transition.
recently, yeah, that was actually good. And you didn't even do it on purpose. It
I
was.
did do it on purpose.
Oh, you did. It was on purpose.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Oh my god.
Anyways, yeah. So like I'm happy we covered this because it, like you said, it makes me think about how you really should focus on yourself this year and try to go through a monk mode. You know what a monk mode is?
I mean, I have an idea, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, yeah, I have an idea. I believe it is when you really it's like you look inside yourself, you focus on the goals you want to achieve, and you try your hardest to bring them to fruition.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, it's like you focus on your main goals, you put them as your top priorities, you cut a lot of things out of your life, and your goals become the most important things that you focus on. Sometimes, the things you give up, can be like even socializing too much. Like, you kind of stop socializing as much as you used to because you want to have more time for whatever you're trying to bring to fruition. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe I believe this is a way you should live your life forever. Not like as if you just live as a monk for your entire life. I mean, some people can pull it off. Some people do live that way. And I do think living in a way like that can bring a person a lot of happiness and joy. But I feel like there should be stretches of monk mode periods in your life where you just focus specifically on your goals, and then you come out of it, then you rejoin the world of the living and do your normal stuff. Even during a monk mode, you don't have to completely cut off socializing, but it doesn't happen as often
Yeah,
as
like
before.
I've been thinking about it. It's like, oh man, like those days back in like high school, you hung out every day and doing all that, and it's like you can't be doing that shit all the time. You can't be doing that shit all the time. You got like responsibilities and shit you got to do. You gotta like wash your clothes, bro. Make your bed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay
It's
to be
like
by yourself sometimes.
yes. But it's like even to do your goals, like you have no choice. Like you're gonna have to have periods where you're just aloneness. You're gonna have to walk the path of aloneness. This is how you bring things to fruition. Every ounce of your being has to be focused into bringing this thing into reality, because it's gonna take a lot of work and take a lot of discipline. And it's hard to be disciplined when you have all this noise around you,
Mm-hmm.
like like one of the most important. Let's actually with EJ. If EJ, do you have any idea about monk mode? Do you know what monk mode is?
You're muted, bro.
Nah, what's that?
Okay, so as we were talking about, monk mode is when give me a second.
Monk mode is basically like you take time to yourself, you reflect on your actions, and you're basically more
Goals.
thoughtful in your time spent.
Yeah. Say your goals become your top priority. Maybe you give a few things up. Maybe you're not socializing or partying as often, that kind of thing. One of the things I think is really important that must be given up during a monk mode period is dating. This is why the Kai Cenat thing was perfect to transition to this. I don't think it's possible to date and to also be trying to bring something you're extremely focused on into reality. Like I think especially it depends on how hard of the task it is. Like it's very difficult. Like even when I was using that dating app, right? And I stopped using the dating app. I wasn't even using the dating app anymore. But now I had a few of the numbers in my phone. That shit was distracting as fuck. Like the phone going off every few minutes. I'm trying to focus on something and they just keep I had to keep putting it on silent mode. I'm
People
working
like you. Wow.
no,
That's
but
such
my point is that it's distracting. So even if you could imagine, if from just having text in your phone, imagine with having a whole nother individual that now emotionally relies on you and that kind of stuff and needs your time. Like they literally need your
yeah.
time. And on some level, they are deserving of your time. If this person is dating you, you guys are supposed to be committed to each other. You can understand why this person would want your time. So it's gonna be an arduous task to do that, and you're also trying to start up this new business. Like that's gonna be difficult. You get what I'm saying? Yeah,
100%. 100%.
yeah.
That
What do you
emotional
guys,
dependency be real.
yeah. So what do you guys think about the dating aspect? Do you think you can date and still be in monk mode?
I mean, the way you described it's not possible. But I guess I don't
I
know
feel
if
like
monk mode
it
means something different for everybody, you know, or
I
is there like a universal way of, being in monk mode?
Well,
I feel like
the
there's
way
a
most
general way you got to do it. Like you can't be doing some real goofy shit and be like, yo, I'm on my monk mode. It's like, weren't you at the club the last 4 days out of the week? Like you can't, like, it doesn't make sense, you know. But like if you're on monk mode and you go out once, and that was like once that whole month, like I'm not gonna say you're off your monk mode thing, because
Yeah.
like you did it up for your boy's birthday or whatever. Like that's fine, right? But to the original question about dating, I feel like it's different. It's like if you're trying to start a new relationship versus already being in a relationship, right? Like if you already are in an established relationship and you talk to your partner and say, look, like I'm gonna try to like do this for us, and like they're understanding, like I feel like it's possible because like you already laid the groundwork for the relationship already. You might already be living together. You might be already like have all those like established connections where so when you are a little more distant in this period, they understand and they're like, yeah. They're just, working on themselves. But when you're trying to do that new relationship, they're like, damn, bro, like I barely know this person already. And like now I don't even get the opportunity to get to know them. So yeah, like if you're trying to like establish new relationships during work mode, it's not gonna work out as well.
yeah. And one of the girls that I was talking to that I started like doing stuff with, right? I remember at one point she was asking me, has something changed? Keep in mind, we've only known each other for like a week, maybe a little more than that. And this is what she's saying. She's like, oh, you're not replying as much and you're not really like, I'm not being as flirty. And I was like, look, and I told her straight up, I was like, now the groundwork has to be set. Like you said, I was like, look, I'm gonna be honest. Like there are a lot of things that I'm trying to do. I was like, I'm going to be very busy. I was like, there are gonna be moments when we're talking where I'm gonna seem aloof and disconnected. There are gonna be moments when I'm not going to reply for a long time. I was like, this is because there are things I'm trying to do, and that's just how it's gonna work. Like I just had to let her know so she could like pull the emergency uh
Like
what do you exit.
Emergency cord.
Yeah, the emergency cord and exit if she wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, being somebody like I've dealt with this with women that have, not been responsive and aloof and everything you described, and I don't get an explanation. So, I think someone could appreciate the honesty being upfront early about it instead of dragging them along and keeping them at arm's length and not
Yeah.
knowing where this is going and being in confusion. Like, if you're given that notice and
Mhm.
you still decide to stay on board, you're just doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, it's like proceed at
So,
your own risk, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, how would you feel if she was like, "I bet"? How would you feel?
What do you mean by all right, bet?
Like if she heard that, accepted it, and was like, "All right," so like she like stayed around.
Oh, she did. I'm still talking to her.
And she has no right to complain at that point then because she knows what to
If
expect.
she did, if she was like, I bet I'm out. No hate towards her.
Yeah,
She knows
makes sense.
Yeah.
her decision.
And I bet you stay, then you got to deal with what comes with it.
Yeah, because like if I was seeing a girl and she was like a boss babe kind of chick, and she told me that, like you said, I now have the choice. Do I stay with this woman? Do I think there's something can be here, or do I leave and go find something of my own?
Yeah, no one should have a problem with that. You're honest. Like, no one should have a problem with it.
Honesty is key. I think during monk mode, that's actually another important thing. Your close friends, you should explain. Maybe there should be a thing where you tell them
Yeah,
before.
no leaving the group chat randomly,
Yeah,
without not saying that you owe everybody in your life a notice, but at least
but
the
like
people that's closest to you should know.
yeah, because like that's like a very ego driven thing. Someone would do if they're trying to go on a monk mode and they want to do an ego. They probably would leave the group chat unexpectedly, and that's only because they want to be noticed. That they that they want to see. They want people to know what's going on, so that someone can message them and they can be like, "Yeah, I'm taking time to myself. I got things I'm trying to focus on. Like you just want to seem cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?"
Yeah, some goofy shit.
I don't know if what I was doing currently, like working a second job, doing all that 7 days a week, if that would be considered. I mean, maybe to someone that might be considered monk mode, but I wasn't
Yeah,
approaching it
actually,
that way.
they actually would consider that
Yeah.
monk
I
mode.
feel like it
Where
would
if you're
depend
giving up,
if you were doing it purposefully though. Like if you were just
That's
doing
what
it
I'm
because
saying.
you're
Like
doing it.
the intention is
you did
what.
say you were trying to make more money, so it was you were trying to level up, sort of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
I guess I could consider it that.
yeah. So like, because the thing is, one of the things that it does involve a lot of work. Like people who are doing monk mode, they won't always have like a specific thing they're trying to build. But what they'll do, right, is they'll have like a plan. Like let's say they have a financial plan, like you were saying, right? They'll be like, okay, I'm gonna work this much and save up this much money and then do this with the money, and like they'll have plans of what they're
Yeah,
gonna do.
I think I accomplished my plan by the end of the year, and like with the money that I've accumulated from that job and saving and all that, I think I hit my goal as to where I wanted to be at starting off this year. So
Yeah, so there you go. Then that's you would have considered they would. So you
yeah,
started your monk mode early. Yeah, that's what you did.
but it feels weird for me to say that because I was still hanging around. I was still hanging out with you guys.
Doesn't
We
have to
went to
be.
Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I was still active.
You were
Doesn't have to be.
still
In a way,
going on your goals though. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
when
and
I made
also
that original comment, it was like if you're going out 4 times in a week and you didn't like if you're not
No,
doing
but
nothing, it's just like
typically, like it's hard for people to maintain that and like still be around people. Like they feel like they have to completely distance themselves from everybody in order to maintain that discipline.
it defeats you don't have to completely distance yourself. It's just you have to. You're gonna by necessity. You might have to limit your amount of social interactions, right? But you're probably still gonna talk to your friends every so often. It's probably still something you're gonna do. You're gonna have a drink every once in a while. It's just like you're not gonna be out there like every weekend partying hard. But
mhm.
Yeah,
every once in a while you'll be sitting there with the boys. You haven't seen them for a few weeks. You're throwing some beers back.
Yeah, you can
But even
like
then, during
enjoy your life. It's just like
yeah,
you're focused on some.
yeah,
It's like instead of working at your job, you're working on your life type shit.
yeah, yeah. So and it's like even like another thing with like a monk mode kind of situation. It's like even if you're like chilling, like I was chilling with Ref, right? And I didn't have anything to drink that day. Well, no, I did later, but basically that day, Ref and his friends gave me some weed. I had some of that, and then when I saw it was reaching a certain time, I left. Because I had something else to do. I told him I'm gonna head out. I left and went to go do something else. Then later I had to go see someone. And I knew the reason I wanted to go see this person is because the way I've set it up during this period where I'm going to be monk the girl, right, is I'm happy that she's very far because it helps with because now if she lived too close, she'd want to hang out all the time. So since she lives too far, now there's no need for me to come up with an excuse or anything. Like she understands the distance. It wouldn't work for me to be going there all the time. So instead, I wanted to see her because the plan is like every weekend or so, I'll hang out with her for a little bit, then take my ass home, right? Or I'll sleep over, then take my ass home the next day. Like it'll be like a Friday, go home. And I was like, if I do this, I will still have enough time to do the things that are important, but I will still, engage in normal human interactions. And I was like, if we keep it loose and free, it doesn't have to be an actual relationship. It was my way of trying to help keep myself focused because I was like, now I won't be distracted by women because that's the thing that I think is the most why most men try to go on a monk mode. Women are very distracting. They're often very distracting. Like a lot of the things men do, I believe, are for the attention and
Absolutely.
of women.
Anyone
Yeah,
who says otherwise is lying. Lying.
yeah.
That
What
remind that,
were you saying?
no, I was gonna say real quick. That reminds me of something I saw I
Oh, the
saw
future.
somebody saying it in a show, like the distractions part, like
Yeah,
how like all those distractions they weigh you down. And I
yeah,
remember somebody it was on the show 6 Feet Under. I remember I don't know why I remember this part specifically. I guess it resonated not resonated. I ain't gonna say it resonated with me, but it did something. Like I felt it, and so on some strange way. But
yeah.
he was like that the only way to have something is to be the no the only way to damn, what was it? It was like he said I'm trapped, but the only way to not be trapped is to not have anything. And he would when he said that he wasn't referring to like women because the situation was that he has a wife that they were going through their turmoil in the household, and then they just recently had a kid, and with a newborn, waking up at odd hours of the night and just having to take care of her, and fatherhood and all that. So it was a stressful time for him, and this is supposed to be some of the finer things in life, like marriage and people stuff that people look forward to towards the later years in their life, and he's stressed out about it. But it's an interesting perspective how those distractions or the things that we bring towards us, they weigh us down, but it's also a way of filling any void that we might have. We need to fill that void, and so we distract ourselves, because when we eliminate the distractions and we're just left alone, and we have no excuse, no, like not anything holding us back,
Yeah,
that we kind of some people find themselves in that space where they're lost and they don't know where to go,
yeah,
and they might feel lonely, they might feel miserable, they might feel some type of sadness,
yeah.
and that's why they surround themselves with that.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to sort of alleviate. Because
Yeah.
I was like, during this period, right, where I'm doing this, right, like I don't plan to stop until like April 7th, right? I was like, there might be periods where it starts to weigh on me, the path of aloneness, which happened to me before, back when I was hardcore about this shit. Like I'm not gonna pretend I had this ironclad mind. There'd be moments where it would dawn on me that I was like, it was like, when Jesus is in the fucking desert and then Satan comes and starts trying to tempt him. That's
Yeah.
what would happen. I'm sitting there and the thoughts will come in like, yo, maybe you should just chill. Just go hang out with that girl you were talking to the other day. It was like, oh, you don't have to do this right now. You don't have to be in the gym. Like trying to get me to so I was like, okay, in order to ahead of time, I was like, let me have something that I can like use to like sort of, and when I say this, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. I do treat this person with respect, right? Like, let me have someone who I can occupy me in the moments when I'm really like craving either like sexual or romantic interaction. That way I can focus on these things and not be held up or distracted by it. So far it's working. Like I'm not I don't like because like man, it's like crazy when you start to notice just how often as a man your brain will get like distracted by these things. Like you're on the train, some girl is kind of attractive, she walks past you, your eyes look up immediately, and you're just like, hey, take it easy. Like you're like
Yeah.
it's like stop, pay attention. You know, you're
Goofy.
trying,
Goofy.
yeah. Like you're trying to
It's your outlook towards it too. Like if you feel like you're being trapped, or like it's these things are weighing you down, you have to really look at those things and see if there's something intrinsically wrong with them, or if it's just your outlook towards it. Like
yeah.
they're like going back to that example that I mentioned with the guy in the show, like he felt trapped because it was a new experience, even though that anybody could feel trapped from that. But like they're also providing him love and care and support and the things he wasn't getting from other people. So like there's value in things that you might take for granted or might overlook because you're so set on how the negatives or the cons of it, and you're fixated on that. So it feels like a distraction, or it feels like it's weighing you down, but in reality it's bringing you some other kind of benefits that you're not giving attention to.
Hold on.
But
How you feel about that, Ray? I'm talking too much.
no, like you're right. Like as Gio said, like sometimes like if you got nothing, right? Like if you don't have a certain significant other or anyone you're talking to at the moment, it really dawns on you. Like you just be walking down the street, you see a straight ad, you're just like, God damn, bro.
I was just that like
Just
you're walking down the street, you look across the street, there's one couple holding hands, you look on the other side, there's another couple holding
oh
hands.
yeah,
like,
you definitely notice a lot more when you don't have anyone. You're just like, damn, am I just lonely, bro? Like, am I? Is it me?
Yeah.
Was I the
but
villain
then
the
at
whole
the same
time?
and at the same time, you know what a relationship entails. And you're like, I don't want that though. Like you're like, is there a
Yeah,
way I
no,
can
it's the
find
duality of
out?
man, where you're just like, you want the
Yeah,
good stuff, but you don't want the bad stuff, but you can't have the good stuff without the bad stuff, bro. Like, it's just not
exactly.
true.
And you don't want to force yourself into a situation where, okay, well, for the sake of not being lonely, let me get with somebody, and then they make you feel even lonelier than you did when you was by yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
People do that all the time. People do that all the time. And I
so
really need them
it
to stop.
goes back to what Vanguard was saying, like, damn, like focus on what's in front of you. Like when you see the girl with the nice body walk through, like, nah, like focus on, like be in tunnel mode. And
Yeah.
that's how I look at it with the relationship. Like, nah, think about it. Like this woman is toxic. You do not want to really stay the course. Like stay the course.
Yeah.
Eventually you might find the right one that's good for you. So
Yeah,
stay the course. Don't force yourself into something.
that's why monk. One of the things about monk mode is like that's why when Ray was saying you're in a relationship with someone, you can explain to them, right? And they might be understanding at first, but then they might start to wear on them. And I don't even think there's anything wrong with them getting mad if they're getting less of your time. It's an emotion. It's a normal human reaction, right?
Yeah.
So like that will happen. They might end up leaving you, and you might have to just continue on the stay the course, because you can't just give up immediately because your significant other left you. Because one, your significant other can come back. That's actually happened to plenty of like guys who like their girlfriend will leave them or something as they're doing something, and then they'll end up with that same person who fucking left them the first
I
time.
don't know if I could do that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like I said, it's like yeah, even that's a normal human reaction. Of course, you're gonna still there's gonna be an open wound, so you're gonna be a little angry about it. But
How would
like,
you feel about that though? It's like say you on your grind, and then
yeah,
you come out the other side. Like so I'm saying, like you had your significant other, you're on your grind, you climbing the mountain, and then they leave you on your journey, and then they come back when you're done. Like how would you feel? Like I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could
yeah,
take them back. I don't know if I
yeah.
could.
On one level, you don't know if you can actually trust them. There's that part, and then it's like, yeah, then there's the fact that it's an open wound. Of course, it bothered you the first time, so it's still gonna have bothered you. Like even if you want to say you process the emotion, you're
Yeah, no,
still gonna
I'd be
feel.
thinking about that shit. Like
Yeah,
anytime I do anything, it's like, damn, I gotta go on a business trip. She gonna stay around this time? Like I know it's only 3 days, but like who knows
yeah,
what if they extended? Like
yeah. But like in the words of EJ, the alternative is you can end up meeting somebody better as you're on your
Yeah.
path.
oh
You
yeah,
meet
no,
some.
that's cool at all. I'm just saying, it's like, would you have taken them back? Like I don't think I
Probably
could.
not. Honest. I mean, heck, I mean that's the last person I was with, they've communicated with my mother, and they fucking want to like talk to me and see me and shit. And I was like, nope. I was like, fuck you. I'm good on that.
I remember that thing you was telling me about the low hanging fruit
Just
and
went
settling
down,
for
bro.
something that is
Yes.
least that is not as desirable, but it's easy to obtain, and trying to shift your direction towards someone that's of higher value or a little bit harder to obtain, and it might require you to have put in more work than
Yeah.
you would have for for someone else.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's because like, wait, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, because like that's a great point right there because the low hanging fruit, like recently, and I've talked to this with the women at work too, to tell you, the women at my job, I was telling them about this. Where I was like telling them about how like there have been studies right that will show like the moment a man enters a marriage, and probably to a lesser extent a relationship, but they didn't look at this, so I'm not sure. I'd have to look up this information on this. His testosterone level will decrease when he enters a marriage, and the moment a guy picks up a fucking baby. They'll test his testosterone levels and they'll be lower. His testosterone levels will decrease as soon as he picks up a baby. Because you now have to be calmer and more affectionate.
Yeah.
That's part of what's entailed in either being in a relationship or now raising a child. So like that, I was talking to them how it got me thinking. But if you want to be at peak peak T, that means you can't be in any long term couplings. You have to bounce
Yeah.
around. And I was like,
But who wants to be all pent up with testosterone 24 hours a day though? You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to
Somebody,
release that,
some people.
yeah, 'cause, like if let's say you're on the real grind, then that tea is gonna be really helpful for you if you're on that crazy grind.
I
So
mean, it's good in situations that call for it, like if you're in a fight, you know what I'm saying, or
this tea is useful.
you gotta handle
It
a
makes you
very
it makes you like
volatile situation.
it makes you quicker to make decisions, that kind of thing, a little more
Yeah,
aggressive. It's a good trait to have, right? So I was like, okay, so I can't stay in any long-term couplings. You kind of have to bounce around. Because like, and it was interesting reading about that because it confirmed the idea that when a guy, enters a relationship or anyone enters a relationship, they're more likely to start settling for things and they're less likely to strive as
yeah,
hard as they used to. And it makes sense because now you're settling in. Your brain and your fucking biology is literally telling you, okay, you won. You achieved what you're supposed to. Because at the end of the day, that's what we do as humans. We're here to reproduce. So now you have the option here. Your brain is like, okay, we did it. It's like, we did it, guy. We got to the end. We got to the finish line. You can relax now. Like it's time to chill. So I think part of it is you kind of have to like, I don't think you should write off relationships completely because then I think that's a great way to end up I think there are certain men who are capable of that. Certain men. I don't think I'm one of them. I'm just gonna be honest. But I know there are men out there who can be celibate and they're just good. They don't need nothing, right? But then most men who seem to not most men, but a lot of men who seem to go down that route, like they're just like, I'm gonna just avoid women. A lot of them end up becoming very black pilled and like incelish, and then there'll be a lot of animosity and anger towards women for them, and a lot of negativity and a little bit of depression. So I feel like on some level you do need a little bit of female interaction and attention. But I think it's when it becomes long term, that's when it starts to affect your mentality and your spirit. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Was that a little too
I think
deep?
yeah.
I think you need to go get some tea, like relax yourself, some chamomile. Anyway, nah,
Chamomile
I feel what you're
fire.
saying.
Yeah.
I feel what you're saying. Like it makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
I have nothing else to say besides it makes sense.
Yeah,
Like I agree.
it's hard to disagree with any of this, honestly. Just
And I know like
being
some people are like, oh man, that's
uh,
that toxic masculinity shit right there. But it's like that's what you want,
drawing
bro.
from experience. It's like, yeah, it's hard to disagree with anything that you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like looking back at relationships I was in, yeah, you start to like even I wasn't even just going off anecdotal, but that even from an anecdotal perspective,
Even watching other people, even watch other people. Like,
yeah, that's the
yeah,
best thing. Like when these people at my job tell me about their boyfriends,
Oh
Oh
man, when
my
you listen to other people's situations,
Bruh.
you just be like, "Oh, I'm glad I'm single."
I
'Cause that
literally
shit be
yo,
crazy.
you don't know how happy. As they would tell me these
It
stories,
be
I'm just like, oh, thank
crazy.
God. It's like, thank God.
I
What's up?
literally only know one person in my family that's married, like, and that's my cousin.
That's not
But
even like that's a problem too. Like
yeah,
when you grow up around a bunch of people who are having like shit relationship problems, that shit follows you. You don't know what a good relationship look like. Like you're just
Yeah.
like,
you
oh, it's
can't.
not like my parents' relationship. That means it's better. And it's like, no, nah. Just because you're gonna sit here and suffer, unlike them, like no, it's not better. It's not a better situation.
It don't
Like,
make me. It don't make me like in that. It don't put me in that black pill area where like I hate it or like I shit on it. But what it does to me is seeing other people's experience. It just makes me really cautious as to what I'm getting myself into. So
Mm-hmm.
that's more of like where I'm at with it. It's like
yeah, it's a good man.
it could work, but theoretically, looking at just the people in my life and um anybody that I've spoken to, it's like how likely is it to work, for me. And no, going into it with my viewpoints, my perspectives, the way I would like a relationship for me to, go, or even a marriage. Um, yeah, is that something that's feasible?
Yeah. I mean, that's like Coach Greg talks about that a lot. He's like, it's like it's not that a relationship is impossible or a happy relationship is impossible. He's just like, but based on the data we have,
Yeah.
it's he's like based on anecdotal data and the actual data, it seems that people are not as happy in these
I know
long-term
you
relationships.
can't live your life based on statistics, but you can't
You can't.
completely roll
You
them
can't
out
ignore
either.
them. I just feel
Yeah.
like when you look at statistics, you gotta like really make sure you know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Because you can lie real easy with statistics. Just be sure to fact check. Like if someone quotes something to you, go and look at the graphs yourself. Look at what they're actually looking at.
Yeah.
Look at how did they did the study, because even how you do a study can affect the results you get, and that's
Yeah.
something that people like don't
Questions you
understand.
ask, surveys and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like
Numbers could
I
be
hate.
manipulated for sure.
It's not like I hate statistics or anything. Like I had to deal with statistics for my undergrad degree, but I just don't like the way people use them. Like they're like universal truths. It's like, oh well, the data shows this, and it's like, okay, but if you look at it this way, now everything you said is the opposite. So
Yeah, and
which one's right?
even if a set of statistics shows something, you have to understand its relevance to you, like
Yeah.
it's actually
Very
relevant to you,
much.
even if even if it's saying this thing, like doesn't matter. Because like it's like because when you start getting to the real nitty gritty, like I say, statistic is like 90% of men have good chances when they do this thing. Let's say from a romantic perspective, they have good chances when they do this thing. But then you go and look at the study, and what they used was like a bunch of like white men. So you're like, oh shit, wait, so this actually doesn't apply to me. You're like, okay, what does the study look like with black men? And it's like, okay, you find another study with black men, and now it's saying the complete opposite. And
No, it
it
doesn't
turns
even
out,
have to be like a racial divide. It could just be a cultural divide. Like, oh yeah,
yeah, culture.
people like it looked at people only from the UK. Like
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
well, the UK's
Like,
culture is completely different from ours, bro. Like,
exactly. People do that a lot with the gun control things. They'll be like, "Oh, in this country, gun control violence is like this," and I'm like, "But that's a completely different country, you fucking
yeah, if
idiot."
you want to get into
Yeah.
a gun control debate, like you can't just look at another country because they have a whole different history with guns. Even like their
Yeah,
relationship with guns are different. Like I know a lot of people like to cite Japan because Japan has like I think one of the lowest gun rates and like one of the strictest gun control laws, and like they have very few gun deaths, right? But the country overall, they just don't give a fuck about guns. Like they don't want them. They don't really do anything with them. But we live in a country in America where you can 3D print a gun and go to a gun competition, a shooting range, and like it's not even like there's no malice in it. Like they're just like, yeah,
country,
I like aiming at target and going bang.
our country literally has guns as part of its foundation. Like
Correct.
we have
Like
to secure
guns
it.
were the reason that we were able to become a country in the first place.
I mean, a lot of countries have formed in that same way.
Oh, I mean, you look at like elder
Yeah.
countries. They have like they were back in the days of like, well, not all of them. Like if you talk about like a French Revolution, but like many other countries, their formations involved, war of the old type. Like Bronze Age kind of
Yeah.
You
Like, I'm
know,
pretty sure Japan's wars were mostly fought with themselves.
yeah,
Like, there was a
yeah,
period where they were like, yeah, you can't use swords anymore because swords were the tools of war, so they got rid of swords. And
yeah.
like, if you were just walking around with a sword, which they used to just do, they were like, yeah, you're gonna go to jail now because like you carrying a weapon. It's like, bro, I've been doing this for my whole life. Like, what do you mean taking my sword away?
I'm literally a fucking samurai. It's
Like they had that
it's like,
conversation about
wait,
weapons a long time ago.
it's like I literally trained to use this thing. It's practically an extension of my
Yeah, it
being.
was basically my other arm, bro. It was crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else you guys want to mention real quick?
I really
Do we
hope this
got time
doesn't.
for hypothetical?
Of course,
My fault. My fault. Go ahead.
no,
Yeah,
of
go
course.
for it.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna let you finish what you were saying, and
Nah, we can do it at the very very end.
then I posted two. Let me see. Trying to see which one I
Return of
rather.
the hypothetical man.
Right. It's been. I feel like it's been a while, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Has it?
It's been a second.
All right. Damn, both of these are good. I think I'm gonna go with the second one on here. All right. So my hypothetical for today is if you were in the process of firing an employee and they turn around and tell you, "Ha, it's only a matter of time until they let you go," would you be worried about it or give it any thought whatsoever?
I mean, I still gotta fire them. Like if it got to the point where I had to, like, I'm in the middle of doing it, I can't just be like, oh shit, you right. Maybe I can't fire. Nah, you gotta go. You gotta go. But
That's not the question though. You could
no, but
still
wait,
fire
I'm
him,
not
but
done. I'm
yeah,
not done. But yeah, no, I would think about it because it would depend on like where's the firing come from. Like if it's my decision to fire you, and they say that shit, nah, I'm not gonna give it any thought. But if I was told from someone else, who's like, yeah, we're gonna have to like, where's budget cuts? You gotta let this person go. You gotta let that person go. Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about it because like I would
are you
think of
good?
it.
Are you gonna approach him though? Like, hey man, what do you mean? Like, are you gonna you gonna try to get an answer out of it?
No, no,
Why would you do that?
because like why would they tell me like I'm firing them? Like, oh, actually, yo,
What
give me
would
the
they
inside
know if
scoop,
he
boo.
doesn't?
And
They
like,
then
who are they? Like, if I have the power to fire them, who are they to have the knowledge?
they could have been walking by an office and heard a conversation going on that you weren't a part of and it had to do with you.
I
You know that
mean, but like I said, like
information is accessible in a lot of ways.
if it was my decision to fire them, I'm not giving it no mind because like
Nah, of course, yeah.
it's just the
If it's your
death
company or
rattles
you're
of
the
some guy
boss,
who's like getting
yeah.
fired. But if it was like higher up positions, I probably was already thinking about it. I was probably already thinking about it. If we're going through budget cuts, I would like, well, I'm just middle management or some shit, right? Like, how long till they fire someone who's going to do it for cheaper? What's your views, Vanguard?
So I remember there was a situation at one of my old jobs where there probably would have been something like I knew one of the supervisors, and me and him were close, and he knew like higher ups, so he actually knows information. So it actually could have been a situation where if the other supervisor fired me, and I'd find out from him that she's next. I could honestly have been like, it was only a matter of time. Like I would honestly have the information. Like it was a possibility. But um, I mean, it like similar, very similar to restaurant. Like if it's me doing it, like you death rattles, I'll just laugh it off and think they were fucking stupid, right? But who knows? Maybe it could have just been like they see the direction the company's going in, and they're not like it turns out they were right. Like fucking 2 weeks later, you're sitting there getting the same letter. He's like, damn, that nigga was right. He was fucking right. Like that would piss me off. Like, because you're not just mad
Yeah.
that it happened to you. You're mad that he was right.
What
You're
do you
like,
what do you say to that if he tells you that? Like, do you just let him walk out, or do you
just
like?
let
Is
him
there?
be. Just laugh at it. Like, okay, whatever,
I
man.
mean, I'd probably say he's like, you might be right. Anyway, here's your
Right.
resignation letter. You can get some snacks on the way out.
Like, cause that's like I remember when I was on a bus once talking
That's
about
so weird.
this girl we knew, and the girl's like grandmother had died, and I felt like she was using it for attention. It just was a personal thing, cause like her
Oh
grandmother
yeah,
died
that one back in high school.
exactly like a
Yeah,
while ago, and then we'd be sitting there having a completely conversation between the two of us.
completely normal and just And we
and
were just
start
like, yo, what's going on?
waterworks, and now people are around her like, "Are you okay?" And it's like she just wanted. I feel like she just derailed the conversations for attention. I'm talking about on the bus, and this guy
Yeah.
overhears us, and he gets heated. He starts tearing up. He's like, "When my mom died, it really hurt." He's like, "How would you like it if at your funeral nobody showed up?" Like that's how he sounded. Like
Sound like
nobody.
an old man. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an older guy. He's like, nobody showed up. And I looked at her, I was like, I mean, they probably won't, to be honest, with the way I'd be carrying on. And he started laughing. He stopped crying and started laughing. And then I forgot what he said. I think he was just like, he was actually, his whole tone and demeanor changed. Now he like greeted me as he was leaving off the fucking bus. So like,
Because he thought you would crumble to that argument, like, oh yeah, you're right, my bad. But like you actually turned it the other way around and gave him an answer he wasn't expected.
yeah, he did not see that shit coming. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably would not give it too much thought. Make a light joke. Like I said at their thing, like, "Oh, you're about to be fired." You might be right, bro. Like I might have to be right there with you on the streets.
Just hit him with the
Today,
save me a spot on unemployment line, bro.
today he'll ask for that line.
Like, yo, you next. Yeah, yeah. You want to hold the door open for me? Like, you right? I'm gonna pack my stuff. Yeah, if it was like Ray said, I'm now middle management. Like you said, I'm probably already thinking about this shit. Because even at my old job, when they started firing people, they had just started. And from the fucking moment they had done it, my first thought was, how long is it till they get to me? I was like, yo, am I next? I was like, yo, how long is it till they get to me? And they only had fired like 2 or 3 people. And I was like, yo, when is it gonna happen to me? And I kept telling people, I was like, yo, actually from even before they did that, we used to do this thing. They brought in this new machine that could do what we could do. Like it did, like basically the old machines, there were processes that only a human could do. They brought in a new machine that could do the things that we were supposed to do. The first time they did this, it did not work. I looked at everyone, I was like, your jobs are safe. I was like, if the machine worked, they would have brought in more and they would have still firing bad people. No, everyone was like, nah, they would never. And then they brought in another machine that kind of did the same thing, did all the stuff we were supposed to do now in the machine. Guess what starts happening? Fucking, they start Thanos snapping and people.
It's like,
People
no,
start
that happened at this other job I worked at too. Like they updated the system, so all of the manual processes you had to do, it was like automated, and they literally asked the ball straight to his face, like, "So you gonna start firing people?" Like, no, we still need you. We just upgraded the system to make it easier for you guys to do your jobs.
Yep.
Very next month.
Like,
Bro, like I remember I was
dang.
only an intern, right? So like I like leave the internship. It was like Thanksgiving now. I reach out to like this person. I was like, oh yeah, I hope everyone there. She's like, actually, nah, you let everyone go. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I mean, same thing, same shit, bro. Fucking, oh, are y'all gonna fire us? No, of course not. Now, they did one bitch dirty because basically the girl asked her straight up when they started firing people, "Am I going to be fired?" Woman lies through her teeth, straight to her. No, because the reason we know this woman lied is because, like she's asked her, and then by the end of the week she's gone. And my supervisor that I knew was telling me because he knows the behind the scenes. He was like, she knew. He was like, she literally knew. He was like, there was an email with a list of all the people that was gonna be fired. So she would have seen her name on the list, but she lied to her. And I was like, God damn.
To protect her feelings, she probably tells her that, and she's, you know,
No, that one was.
It's not to protect no one's feelings. It's just like I can't just be like I can't be like imagine you knew you were gonna get fired, but it's not today. It's next week. Like I'm not working this whole
it's a tough
week,
conversation.
bro.
It's
I'm
a
not
tough
working this
conversation
whole
to
week.
have.
I'm showing up to get paid, but I'm not doing nothing, brother.
Yeah, that's
What you gonna do? Fire me? Like you already gonna do it.
But it is to to that point. It is better to tell them right away because they could prepare for the aftermath.
They
You
don't
tell somebody
care
later,
about you, bro.
then they got to start applying for jobs. They could have been applying to jobs, or they could have been looking at something
They
else.
don't care about you, bro. And like I said, like if you know you're getting fired, you're not gonna do any of the work. You're not getting in your A game, and they know that. So that's why they don't tell you. They don't be like, hey, bro, you got 2 weeks until you're gone.
They're gonna get everything out of you.
Like,
They're gonna get everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually got that hypothetical from an interview I watched where a former football player he was talking about how he was on this losing team. Like they won maybe like 2 or 3 games that year, and he got pulled into the office by the coach, and they were having he thought it was like a contract renewal, like extension. Like they were gonna extend his contract to the next season. And then he went in there and told him, like, yeah, like we're actually not gonna have you on the team no more. We're releasing you. Like, we're not gonna pick up your contract. And then he was like, oh, word? Like, he was like, and he was mad about it because he could have, I think he had asked him about it before. It was kind of like the situation you were describing with the girl where like he had the opportunity to let him know he was gonna be let go before, and he told him like that wasn't gonna happen. So for now, for him to now be telling him this, it's like, damn, like you could have, could have been told me that this was on the way. But so he turned after he heard that, he was pissed already, and he turned around and told the coach, like, they want your ass about to be gone too. And they just walked.
did they fire the coach? They
He
did?
fired him that same season. The way it works in sports, like if your team is doing bad, even if you have a proven track record of like winning before, your ass is on the hot seat. Like a lot of times, because they're always looking to rebuild and change up the system and get
Yeah,
somebody
I
new in
know
there.
that. I know that.
Yeah. So
That happened at my old job. They kept changing the big boss in charge.
yeah,
And what would happen
expecting
is,
different results.
yeah, like so what happened is like it's on the decline. They changed the boss, right? But it's not a quick turnover. So there's like a period where it's like the lowest it could possibly be. New boss come in and it goes real way, way, way up. And that's only because there was nothing to compare it to before, right? So now it's real high, and then it goes back down, and then they Thanos snap that next boss, and new boss comes show up again, and it's just a cycle. And instead of like sitting down and looking, all right, well, why is it declining? They're just like, oh, let's get someone else, like new blood. It's like, bro, like
New blood.
it's like, yo, chill, just
That's the
actually.
game.
Actually look like some goofy ass like corporate person,
Yeah.
just like
Instead
please,
of developing strategies for that one person that's holding that seat, for them to be better, and that way there's more retention there, like there's time to build rapport with the staff under them instead of constantly changing staff over and over. Like there's no rapport being built because you're always it's like when there's a high turnover rate at any job and you constantly have to make introductions and meet that new person and you have to show them the ropes. It's like this person about to be gone, so like I don't feel comfortable, being very approaching them and getting to know them and bringing them on board because they're about to be gone.
Yeah. But thanks for the hypothetical. It was
Appreciate you.
It
Got
was nice.
one. Oh, tomorrow we won't, unless you guys are streaming tomorrow.
It was on Wednesday.
next time
Okay,
is
Wednesday. Oh, Emilio gonna be on, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a guest star. Oh man, how are we gonna do that? We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We can even meet up tomorrow briefly to try and see what we got to do.
I don't want to meet your ugly ass. Anyway.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, right? I hope whatever what's ever happened with Kai, I hope it really don't nerf my man to the ground. Like I don't even be watching his content, but it was just nice to see a young brother out here doing what he wants to do, making money the way he wants to make money. I hope this doesn't just like ruin his career, right? Because Lord knows this type of stuff will ruin your career.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone who's watching, if you ever thought about taking some time to yourself to really upgrade and hit that next level, this is your time. This is your time. And I'm not even saying this because it's January. I'm saying it's always your time, bro. I don't care if you're watching this and it's October 2027. Like, it's okay. It's your time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like a monk. You have to live with discipline forever. Like a monk vote thing is a forever commitment. It's not something you just do once or just one time and now your life is better. You don't have to do it anymore. It's not how that works. Because then those other things come creeping out of the darkness. the moment you think you won and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna take it easy, it's like, so you have chosen the path of darkness. You know, he's just like,
You be doing that all week, bro.
yeah, or can smack you across the back of the head. You think you're free. You're like, oh man, I can relax. It's like fresh cut, and then you're just
Bro,
done.
you gonna relax in your car and be like, yo, but what about my alternator? I just broke. What do you mean it just broke? I just broke, bro. What do you do?
Yep, those moments just start popping up out of the woodwork. And also with Kai Cenat, yeah, I hope he does. I hope he doesn't. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I hope his career doesn't tank after this for something that because like people are
They
blaming
have no
him.
control
Like,
over
it's
this,
not-
bro.
Yeah, it's not his fault. Like,
I don't know what kind of making assumptions right now. It's kind of dicey.
If we're looking at the situation itself as the way it's been described, he sends her upstairs to protect her. To be honest,
Like I said, like I would do the same thing. Like I wouldn't want no stranger. Like if I invite you into my home and you're a little too gone, like I would want you to like sober up before you try to like get home. You know,
like how is he supposed to know what happened? What happened? Like he has no idea. So like for people acting like, and then they're like, oh, because like even when people were saying like when I was talking to people about this, oh, he should have like they were kind of implying he should have punished his friend or something. I was like, look,
he doesn't know what happened yet.
Exactly. I'm friends with Ray. I was like, I tried to tell him, I was like, yo, imagine if my boy Ray, it's like, imagine someone came to me claiming he did something to them. I'm supposed to just turn on him immediately?
That's
no
crazy.
evidence, nothing.
I couldn't do that.
After rush hour 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the way, it's crazy.
Yeah.
What you got been through?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna take his word for it immediately either. You know, like I'm gonna weigh both sides. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna ask some questions.
And that's the other thing. It's like people are like, okay. I was telling them, I was like, honestly, what do you expect him to do? You know, he's not Batman. Like, what is he? He can't. Like,
he gonna put on his detective cap. He gonna grab his Watson and he gonna go to work, bro.
That Watson, man. That Watson.
Watson is always cooler than Sherlock in every adaptation they make. He always
Not
be
the
sitting
BBC
there.
one. I think he was in the season 1, but I think he became a little whack in the later seasons.
Later they just kind of had him there to be like Sherlock.
Yeah, like in season like 2 and I think 4, he was just like there. He was just like
he's like Sherlock. He's sitting there like John Travolta.
But the one where
John Travolta.
Yeah, I just ignored it.
Oh my god!
But the Sherlock with Robert Downey Jr. He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good movie. That guy was gangster.
That guy was cool as fuck.
That man was a machine, bro. Like, he would be
was a
sitting there
whole
running after them carriages with his gun, like, like out of a modern.
I was like, yeah, that's a military doctor right there.
Yo,
it's like the best medicine is to make sure the enemy can't hurt nobody.
Yeah, fucking Jude Law. He's a good actor.
But shout out to that. Any other final thoughts?
Yeah. I just was gonna say the same thing as earlier. Like, it's an unfortunate situation for both sides, and despite like no matter how it plays out, there's someone is gonna be hurt. So, like I said, either way you go, either the victim is at fault for I mean, not the victim, but the person that caused it. It's just a lot to deal with. So yeah, I don't want to really give an opinion about it because I don't know. I don't really know all the facts.
Yeah.
But and I'll speak a little bit on the discipline thing. As you were saying, like, just stay the course. Life is gonna hit you with a lot of things and pull you in a lot of different directions. But as long as you're at peace with yourself, I think that's the most important part. When you're at peace with yourself and you're not getting caught up in what society expects of you, what other people in your life might expect of you, and you just focus, then you have a clear goal of where you're trying to go. That'll make things easier. Focus on those things that you want to do for yourself, and take it from there.
Beautiful.
Yes. Anyways, great way to stay in shape.
Great way to stay in shape.
Catch you same bad place, same bad time. Vanguard out.